2, 1. Hey, folks, and it's Star City time again. We took a little week off, and we're back, and well, I won't say better than ever, but we're all here for once. So
we exist.
I don't know. I think that we should actually just not play the game and instead talk about Pokemech Warrior.
Pokemech Warrior. That would be different.
Pokemech Warrior 40K.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah. So last time.
Of the far future,
So-
there is only pocket monsters.
In our last session, many things happened. You eventually were able to track down Lodestone. Specifically, you were able to track down the cube
Yes.
to the warehouse where Lodestone was, and
My cube.
yes, and you defeated Lodestone. Well, drove him off again because he was like, "Yeah, I'm out." But you were able to get
my box.
You were able to find the cube in question, a map of the bank, a list of safety deposit boxes in the bank, and a burn phone. Also, you got a little bit of Lodestone's jacket that got torn off when he got hit with a particularly nasty blast.
Oh, that's right. Now I can track him.
Yes, it'll take you a little time to work up the spell, but yes. A couple other things did happen. John might have started a gang war between some of the local Russian mafia.
That'll blow over.
And Eric met another sorcerer by the name of Hippolyta Eris.
Quotation marks around met.
He actually met her. He had a lovely conversation with her.
Arcane's got a girlfriend.
Do it in the voice. No, I guess he's not going to. Oh well.
Never. Never.
So yes, and that is roughly where we are. We wrapped up that session in the warehouse. You guys had defeated the thugs, and as I said, Lodestone basically put up a giant wall of like stuff to block you guys off from an open hole in the roof and flew off. And I declared that he got away because I didn't want you catching him just quite that yet. Basically, they were in a warehouse full of metal stuff, so he uses magnetic powers to build a wall out of the metal stuff.
Because he's a jerk.
Hey! He's got He's sort of a lower power version, combination of Magneto and the Thing. I mean,
Magneta thing.
Magnathing.
except he's a villain.
Thignito.
Thingcognito.
Incognito.
This man. This mutant.
Yes, and Blue Kawadi in the chat does mention that he got away entirely because of GM Fiat.
Yes.
And he said, at least you're honest about that. Also, it's coded into the game for me to be able to do that, so... So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the session off here. Depending on what you guys are planning on doing after this, we may just do some background stuff that, well, you guys are well, a few roles here and there with you guys doing investigations. One important note, since he got away at the end of the session last time, I'm going to start you guys off this session with 2 hero points each.
Woo!
Because the escaping due to GM Fiat thing counts as a complication, but there was no session after that point, so the session basically ended there. So
All right. I should probably start investigating my new box. My magic new box.
Yes.
My inanimate magic new box.
It is not a companion cube.
What's in the box?
Well, there's not much
What's in the box, Jokey? What's in the box?
Spoiler wife's head. Oh, sorry guys.
Well, you could try opening the box, although I don't think it actually opens per se. As I said, it's a cube, not a box.
Right. Or researching.
So, what are you doing at this point? You are standing around in a warehouse with a bunch of defeated thugs.
Yes.
Should
Well-
probably call the police to handle the thugs.
Well, considering that you you, Dr. Arcane, probably know more about what to do with all the stuff you eat we've just found. I am going to set about, calling the authorities and securing the crooks.
Okay. The cops. You call the cops, and they say they're sending people to arrest them and such. There's plenty of stuff in the warehouse to tie them up with, so that's not that hard.
Cool. I don't have enough handcuffs.
No, but there's plenty of stuff to tie. There's plenty of like.
And I
rope
brought
and
zip
stuff.
ties.
Okay, sure.
Well, it makes more sense considering we knew we were going after Lodestone.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, handcuffs wouldn't work very well in Lodestone. Not metal
No.
ones.
you're like, okay, we finally got the right size. Okay, click. God damn it.
All right. So how long do you guys? After about 10, 15 minutes, the cops arrive. Actually, it's less. The first cops arrive sooner than that because, well, duh. But the actual, the transport to carry the bad guys off is take a little bit to get there.
Right. Okay, so we got the magic box. We got Lodestone's coat, or a bit of Lodestone's coat.
Yeah.
And we have safety deposit box numbers.
Yep. Actually, one note. So after there a few cops arrived to start off with, as the thugs are being pulled out, you hear another car pulling up outside, and in walks the familiar sight of Detective Michael Strange, and in his sort of weather-worn, beaten-up brown trench coat, and his partner, who's wearing a much more dapper outfit, shall we say?
Dapper.
Well, he's wearing a very nice wool coat over his very, very nicely, neatly pressed suit.
Does he have a pencil-thin mustache and oily hair?
Nope. He's wearing he's also wearing a hat. You get the impression he probably has very short, very neatly cut hair. Actually, sort of think Joe Friday.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how you describe it. Now that you've mentioned the code, I'm just imagining he's Bane.
No, he's
So, you heroes have defeated Lodestone.
It's wonderful.
And what do you plan to do about me?
Actually, I saw that movie over the Thanksgiving break, and yeah, it was good.
He's the best
Bane's
part of
voice
it.
is silly.
He's the best part of it.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I guess that I will, for me, I'll greet them, I guess, as they come up. And,
so Strange walks up and says, "Oh, Aaron, hello. This is my partner, Detective. Crap, what is his name? I'm on the wrong page.
I'm just imagining he says that.
Detective Crap.
My name is Detective Crap. What's his name?
Yeah, this is my partner, Detective
Placeholder Jim.
Detective Allen. There we go.
Detectives. And Aaron will go about explaining, we tracked Lodestone and his men to this place, and that Lodestone managed to get away, but we've detained, I guess, like a half dozen criminals besides him. And that we did find some other interesting things aside from that. So,
Detective Allen sort of looks at you and he nods and says, "Well, then what are the pertinent details that things that you've found so far?"
well, I believe that the doctor can explain things a bit better than I can.
Busy playing with my box.
The doctor? Strange turns and says, "That's the gentleman over there in the armor. That's Dr. Arcane." Detective Allen nods and walks over to the good doctor. You hear Eric? You hear someone clearing his throat behind you.
oh, hello. Hi, how are you?
Good afternoon, Dr. Arcane.
Yes, I'm Dr. Arcane. Pleased to meet you. You
I'm,
were...
I'm Detective Allen of the Star City Police Department. Uh,
Excellent to meet you.
I've been informed that you have the salient details on the what's been going on and what you found here in this warehouse, and any facts you have on the case so far I appreciate being informed of.
Okay.
With that,
Well,
he pulls out basically a slightly oversized, a small, basically a small tablet type thing to start taking notes on.
Well, we determined that Lodestone was wiping people's memories using a particular magical artifact to hold up the box. And having gotten a decent look at it, at its aura, I managed to develop a device that would track the penumbral resonance across the astral plane within a certain distance. So I was doing a sweep around there looking for the appropriate animations, and found it here in this warehouse, at which point I gathered our team together, and we went in to apprehend the vile miscreant.
Miscreant.
So you said you were tracking that across the astral plane.
Sort of. This device, all magical devices have a certain resonance across the astral plane, and I had developed a separate device that could pick up that resonance and direct me towards it. I can't actually move into the astral plane now.
Ah, good to know. You are a qualified authority on such subjects then.
Yes, I have a doctorate in thaumatology and a master's in cryptozoology and parapsychology.
Oh, excellent! You'll be an excellent expert witness then.
In any case, after Lodestone made his escape and we apprehended his minions, we found the device here, which I'd love to study, and a map with the various banks that have been hit, including the one where we stopped them, with a list of safety deposit box numbers next to it, which we'd love to be able to look into. This telephone, which we suspect he was receiving his orders from the Russian Phantom, and and he dropped this bit of cloth during the battle, which I think is from his coat, which I should be able to track via quantum entanglement.
Quantum entanglement. Got you.
Right.
Where was the piece of cloth found?
It was right over there. I point.
You moved it. That's unfortunate. Oh well. I'll note that down. At least you're wearing gauntlets, so you're not getting fingerprints on any of this.
No.
All right. If you would set down all the evidence you've found so far, let our techs take sort of photograph them and such, and we'll have a form filled out. So if you want to study the box, you can take it from the scene.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there anything? And we'll be taking the rest of that into our labs to be investigated and such. We will be calling on we'd like to call on you and anyone else involved, possible witnesses, if we do apprehend if this Lodestone individual is apprehended, of course.
Certainly. I did not bring a pen.
He reaches into his coat pocket and hands you a pen.
I will
before he hands it to you, he says, "Wait, once the form's filled out, we'll tuck this back in. I will go inform someone to get the appropriate forms."
Okay.
Don't move anything on the table just yet. Thank you.
I put the box back.
He nods to you, turns around, and walks back over to Detective Strange, who is currently sort of poking about, wandering about, sort of looking at things quizzically here and there.
So, how long before I can look at the box again?
He's walked off at this point. He said, as I said, Detective Strange sort of walking about. He absentmindedly sort of reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pack of cigarettes, pulls one out and sticks it in his mouth, and it looks like he's about to light it when Detective Allen sort of clears his throat at him. Not at the crime scene. Oh, and you see Detective Strange look at him. Fine. Sticks the cigarette behind his ear. Yeah. Okay. Detective Allen says we're gonna need a Form 34 stroke B. Strange sort of blinks a couple of times. Which one is that one again?
It's the one
Detective
that
Allen
lets me
sort of
take the box.
pauses, says, "I'll go get one," and he walks back out towards the car.
It's the off-fuchsia one. Come on.
Detective Strange sort of runs his hand through his hair, sort of walks up. He sort of leans over towards Aaron and says, "Detective Allen's a very good detective, but he is something of a stickler for the details and procedure."
Hmm.
Right. So, when
I
can I get the
sympathize
box
with
back?
that.
Sorry, what was that, Doc?
When can I get the box back?
Uh, once he gets the form filled out and once the techs have had time to photograph everything.
Okay. Because, yeah.
I understand, but we
It's
do want
so
to be able
cool!
Strange chuckles a little bit. I understand. Yeah, once we have the techs take the photos of that stuff and fill that stuff out, you guys can take off if you want to. We'll handle things from here. Is there anything else you guys think you need to let me know about? I heard you saying something about safe deposit box you guys wanted to look into.
Yes, it's the notes are on the are on the map.
Okay. Tell you what we'll do. We'll see if we can get the bank to release either the. I doubt we'll get them to release information on the actual contents, but might be able to get the people who might own the box and boxes, and if we can get proper permissions, I'll send that information on to you.
Excellent.
You guys have been a big help so far, so I'd like to keep you guys in the loop. Especially since there
that
are,
would be-
honest to God, supervillains involved. While we can handle sort of the lower tier guys, we're not really equipped to handle someone like Lodestone.
Mm.
Oh, I'm always willing to help, and thank you. It's high praise. And where's my box?
You do notice that the lab techs have moved over there with cameras and such, are taking photos. All right. Yeah. Detective Strange sort of looks over, says, "Okay, well, if I think of anything else, I'll let you guys know." I'm going to take a look at a few things over here also. He looks over the partially deconstructed wall of stuff and looks at it and sort of goes, "Huh." I assume
Oh
that
yes, that
wasn't
was that was very unsportsmanlike of him.
Oh, yeah, that's all metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like he chose this place as a base of operations because it had everything that he can manipulate.
Home field advantage.
Yeah. All right. All right. With that, you see Detective Allen walking in with a clipboard. Says, "Dr. Arcane,
Yes.
here's the Form 32-B, or 34-B is I think what I said, actually. What I said, Peter.
Yes.
Here's the appropriate forms. Initial sign and date on the first form, the second form, and the third form. They're carbon copies of them. Once you've done that, I'll give you the appropriate forms, and once the lab tech's done with the photos, you can take the box with you.
Excellent. I promptly start filling out the forms as quickly as I can.
All right.
Give him a box. Want a box? Want a
Once
box?
the
Want a box?
once that's done, you fill it out. I assume you hand the clipboard back to him.
Yep.
Okay. He sort of looks him over and says, "These appear to all be in order. Here are sort of things tearing." He hands you the pink forms. The copy. This is your copy
Right.
of each of the forms. Give the lab techs another couple minutes, and you can collect the box.
Excellent.
And the scrap of the cloak too, since you said you were going to do something with that.
Yes. Yes, I should be able to track him via that.
Oh, that's
if it
good.
was in fact from his coat.
And just for my reference, I assume you are registered with the NSEA?
Yes.
Good. Do you have do you happen to know your registration number?
In fact, I do, and I spit it out at him because I have eidetic memory.
Excellent. He notes it down on his tablet PC, little mini tablet. All right. Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Arcane. Here, deep. He blinks a couple of times, looks up at you, and says, "You really are Dr. A. Arcane."
Yes.
Huh. All right. That's
I didn't think to think up a
just
clever name, so they just started using my name.
Wait, what do you mean my name's a pun? What?
that's surprisingly practical of you. So, Dr. Arcane, Errant, and who are your other two associates?
That would be John Doe, and that would be Androbot.
John Doe.
Who was totally there for the fight.
Yes, he was.
I was totally here for the fight. You should have seen me.
I was like, bang, bang, and they were like, oh, Androbot, please stop hurting us.
And the ladies were like, oh, you are so shiny. And I was like, no, I am a one-woman robot.
You actually hear you hear these sounds of Detective Strange trying not to laugh. Detective Allen looks completely and utterly impassive. I see. Very well. Androbot, John Doe. Right. Very well. None of you had to fill out forms, so I don't have to worry about your NSEA registration status or anything like that. That should be it. Thank you, gentlemen, for your assistance. I believe one of us will be in contact if we've got anything we want to either ask you or any information we think we might be able to give to you without compromising any future investigations.
Excellent.
He puts his little mini computer back in his pocket. I believe the texts are done, Dr. Arcane. You can collect the stuff you were going to collect.
Whee!
Again, thank you, gentlemen, for your assistance, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other in the future.
I'm sure.
I have my box.
You collect the box and the scrap of coat, and you guys are welcome to take off at this point if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm totally going back to the lab. Are you kidding? I've got a new toy to play with.
Little scene transition.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the warehouse.
And there's just a janitor going, is that one?
All right. You guys head back to your base, which is when you get inside, looks like some more work has been done inside. There are, in fact, a couple of people in there, sort of unpacking stuff. They're wearing coats that say Night Industries on like a little badge on the shoulders and such. One of them looks up and says, you folks are the people who are working out of here, right?
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Dr. Arcane. Yeah, all right, good. Dr. Knight actually asked us to deliver this stuff and unpack it. If you just sign here. Someone?
I'll take over the paperwork.
Thank you very much. You actually do notice that standing off at one corner, you actually see Mercedes standing off somewhere, sort of looking over things.
All right.
None of that matters. I have a new toy to play with.
Yeah, you wander off to the lab, I assume. All right. Yeah, this is just some office chairs, a couple more tables for you, and a couple more bits for the computers. I don't know how to set those up. You guys will have to handle that yourselves. Just so you know, Mercedes here is one to let us in.
Yeah, I nod. So, it is kind of weird for delivery people, well, even like that to be inside when you show up.
Yeah,
I was going to leave a note in the door.
Sorry,
I was here.
There was a truck outside that I forgot.
Okay, yeah.
You were away while we were here. We helped.
There's
we
a
helped
truck
get
outside
ourselves
and
the
a-
beer.
there's a truck outside, and it looked like Dr. Knight's Mercedes was outside. BMW was outside.
Please collect all your loot from the next warehouse.
I'm glad that you eventually got that screwed up.
Yeah. With that, the delivery the guys who delivered it head out after they finished they carried the boxes around this stuff back out. Mercedes sort of watched them leave, nods. So you guys are all settling in well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dr. Knight just wanted me to check in, make sure everything was okay, and to make sure that the delivery guys could get in since you guys were out when they arrived. Normally, I wouldn't intrude upon your privacy like that, but they have other deliveries they have to make today, and want to make sure you got the stuff as soon as possible.
Well, I suppose it's all right so long as none of them went into John's living quarters.
Oh, I made sure they didn't leave the main open area here.
I was trying to think of it, if any one of us actually cared about privacy. It was like Dr. Arcane, not really. Androbot, he's a robot. Oh yeah, the guy who nobody knows who he is. There you go.
Nobody knows.
If you have any messages for Dr. Knight, I can take them to him now if you'd like, but if you don't, I'll be going.
No exceptional concerns have been raised.
Very good. So I heard you guys stopped a robbery at the Second National.
Yes, unfortunately, we haven't been able to apprehend the ringleader, or who we assume to be the ringleader at this time.
Well, Dr. Knight is somewhat pleased about that. He does have he does keep some of his money there.
Some.
Yeah, it's about £2.50. He dropped it in the collection plate once. He wants it back.
Very well.
If I ever drop my wallet, I keep about $10,000 in there so I can fill it back up.
You guys caused $14 worth of damages, and I want it back.
With that, she nods and says, have a good day. Keep up the good work and all that.
We will.
She walks out, gets into the car and drives off.
We still don't have a name, do we?
Nope.
A team name.
I actually kind of mentioned that in character. Just kind of reminded of that because,
My name's Dr. Arcane, in case you forgot.
I didn't, Doctor.
Woodgie. As he starts doing incantations over the little box.
How about Dr. Arcane and the Pussycats?
Wasn't that the name of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
We Dr. Arcane, the Pussycats in space.
I don't believe I remember a Hanna-Barbera character called Dr. Arcane.
Well, I'm sure there was one. This is the same people who had a character named Vincent Van Ghoul.
That's a good point.
Indeed.
I'm not sure how much of this conversation is in character at this point.
About 20 minutes later, you hear a loud booming knock on the door.
Okay.
Oh, Berkelak, right.
I answered the door.
Standing in front of the door is Berkelak. He's got a gigantic bag in one hand with the logo of the Star City Mall. He's got a gigantic mug. He's got a gigantic, basically he's got a super gulp, one of the giant super gulps in one hand.
Yay.
Been doing some shopping, I see.
Yes. The mall place here has many fascinating stores.
I can't keep in character with that.
He walks in looking around. You seem to have gotten more stuff. But yes, I went to this one store called FYE. They had a large collection of those movies by that Disney company. Decided I want to watch more of them.
Been on a Disney binge.
Aaron's kind of going to himself, what have I done?
I also bought more of that popped corn stuff that you cook in the microwave oven thing.
I can't stop thinking of Animorphs. Bunza! Cinnamon Bunza! Oh, God.
Did you get buttered or salted?
He pulls out a stack of boxes of popcorn, but like 5 or 6 of them. There's this just butter, butter with salt, this flavored variety. I think it involves some sort of chili pepper.
Ooh.
And the box of Cracker Jacks. I have not had these in some time, not since the last time I was here stateside.
So who is thinking sleepover?
Tries to get to work setting up some of their new equipment, and as if he can will all this not to be happening.
Also, I
No,
discovered
John
that
sneak off into the back.
I also discovered this store called 7-Eleven, and they sell these these appropriately sized cups of soda.
Appropriately sized.
Yeah.
I mean, I can actually, I can almost quench a bit of my thirst with one of these.
Mm-mm.
Slurp.
Okay, so, yeah.
He goes wandering off back towards the television.
I'm trying to occupy myself with work. Oh God, Berkelak's here and he's been to the mall. Time to look busy. Oh God.
So yes, as I said, he walks back over towards the television and the couch and sits down. Basically, he drops the bag of the boxes of popcorn off by the on top of the microwave and then walks off to the.
He's gonna have a constant cycle of popcorn in the microwave and eating popcorn.
Okay, so, oh God, what's our next move here from here, I wonder? Well, I
Are you guys
guess...
watching The Lion King?
God damn it. I was kind of counting on you.
You might want to go to Africa.
Oh my God.
So,
I have
where
no
are you
idea
guys
what-
going from here?
I have no idea.
I'm watching The
anymore.
Lion King.
I had an idea. I can remember having an idea.
But I don't like you, so I don't have any idea.
Oh God. I'm so happy right now.
So,
Hey, are you guys watching The Lion King out here?
Congratulations, you broke Nick.
I'm done, man.
I had something going on, but now...
I was like, okay, we gotta figure some stuff out. We gotta do all this stuff. We gotta figure out our game plan. We gotta come up with a name for the team. Berkelak shows up. God damn it!
He pretty much kicks it all down and goes, I've got snacks!
Oh God, there is no way I can react to this in character.
sorry.
The only appropriate reaction is just to shake my head and walk away.
Pretty much.
Okay, so I'm gonna be over here trying to figure stuff out. Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay. As an aside, this is sort of ex-Gama. Just sort of thinking of possible team names. If you actually want to think about that a bit, might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Just so we have that. I will say this: the last time I ran a campaign set in Star City, I believe the team they ended up calling themselves the Sentinels, the Star City Sentinels. But
Hyper Team Action Force Go 2, The Return of the King.
Electric Boogaloo. Team Derail. Thank you, Inkbot. That was funny.
All right. So we need to figure stuff out. All right. So we've got the bit of coat from Lodestone, so presumably we can use that to track him using some Dark Arcane ability. Other than that,
Asa!
how could you not know that was going to happen?
Leave me alone. I like this movie.
You know it's based on Hamlet.
The circle of life.
The
You actually hear Berkeley goes, "That's why this seems familiar."
Well, wait a minute. These are lions. These aren't people. This doesn't make any sense.
I understand now. Oh, this is not going to go well.
Oh,
You know, I actually saw the first performance of this.
He's got like a pillow, and he's like, "No, don't do that."
Oh. But wait, which of them is supposed to be Polonius? This makes no sense.
Yes.
Oh, that
Foster's
pig
brother
thing
looks
and
so
the other thing
trustworthy.
are... Oh, huh. Fascinating.
So,
Holy crap,
There's
Timon
something-
and Pumbaa are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yes, they are.
except that they live. So,
True.
Everyone dies in Hamlet.
Blockhead's got it. He gets right to the end and he just stands up. Lions don't talk.
Wait a second. Just one cotton picking minute. I've been had.
At any rate, so those are two things that Arcane can look to once he finishes watching The Lion King. If there's any investigations you guys want to do on your own, that's fine.
Yeah. I know there's something else. But I forget.
There is
Yeah.
some stuff that will happen as time forwards, but I just want to get a feel for what you're doing until then.
Yeah, I need to remember what we did last session in more detail. Let's see. So, right, there was the different Russian families, and John Doe did the most hilarious, terrible thing.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest we might want to watch like the 10 o'clock news or something on that day. Just make sure that there's no major thing going on in the town.
So, what was the name of the sorceress that Dr. Arcane met?
Hippolyta Eris.
Yes.
Okay. Pardon me. And we found the cube as well. Okay. Let's see. I think at some point I'm eventually going to just go out on patrol because I don't actually believe that there is anything that I, with my skill set, can do in terms of our investigation that we haven't already done.
That's fine.
What we know. So
If you want to go out on patrol, that is a perfectly valid thing to go do.
everyone's on the couch watching Fox and the Hound.
I actually am watching the evening news.
Yep. Okay. The evening. It's getting on towards evening at this point.
Yeah, after The Lion King, I think they'll watch the news.
After The Lion King, I go back to doing what I was supposed to be doing, which is researching both the tracking spell and the box.
Are you kidding me? Everyone's got their own TV, Darkville, obviously. That was the first thing we sorted out.
Actually, to be honest, you guys probably have multiple televisions. Probably would have multiple televisions.
No, we've got an Elvis Presley setup where we've just got 5 TVs on one wall.
You probably would want to have multiple televisions just so you could actually, keep track of multiple, news stations if need be.
Right.
Purely
yeah.
from a practical standpoint.
And also, we've got to have our unnecessarily large screen so that the mayor or whoever can call us up and say, "Super friends, Captain
What?
Cold is attacking the city."
I'll say this: if some big there's some sort of big event in the city, I'm not sure the mayor would contact you that way, but the police department might call you.
Hey, all the good superheroes are busy, so you guys were definitely a ninth call, so you're up there.
I'll say
We're
this:
also
you guys
busy
are.
fighting Galactus, so if you guys don't mind handling this.
I will say this: in Star City itself, you guys are pretty much the big dogs in town, hero-wise.
I'm just thinking of that one episode of the Tick where the Tick is like, so you can signal us with the Tick signal. Just pointed at a very good group of clouds, and Mayor's just like, we do have your phone number.
The Tick.
We have one of these for Defleeter Mouse, and every time we use it, he disconnects his phones and goes on vacation for a week.
Oh, Deflator Mouse. Deflator Mouse. Bad one, well.
All right. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I guess so. Yeah. So patrol, news, research, as far as I know, for
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you're going on patrol. Is anyone else going on patrol? Or it's just Aaron?
I heard both Arclight and Gav say they wanted to watch the news.
Okay,
So.
you guys are watching the news. All right. So I will handle you on patrol first, Nick.
All right.
I want you to give me both a perception and an investigation roll while you're out on patrol.
Both perception and investigation. Okay, let me pull my skills. Oh my god, why are you moving so slowly, Paige? All right, perception and investigation +8 and +9. Okay.
Dun-ga-dun-ga-dun.
That's not very good.
No, that's not.
Okay, I didn't see anything.
All right. Okay, that's fine. I can work with that. All right, so you basically
You're
on patrol.
attacked by
There,
ninjas.
it seems to be a fairly quiet day. Although you, what?
Until.
Well, actually, as you're sort of writing about town, you eventually do come up on an area where you notice there are a few cops actually out, parked outside a convenience store, which seems to have been. I'm getting
Cup
close.
and snacks.
No, there's a convenience store. Let's just say it's a 7-Eleven because why not?
Oh god.
No.
Okay.
The main window's actually smashed in, and it looks like something big happened here. There's like 2 or 3 cop cars outside.
Okay.
But there are no signs of like any arrests being made or anything like that. It looks like they're investigating stuff, and they're also cordoning the place off. There is there's a couple cops talking to basically have a guy who you're pretty sure is like the 2 people actually sitting sort of in the back. Like there's an ambulance there too. The 2 guys are basically being looked at by the EMTs while 2 cops are asking them questions.
All right. Well, I guess I'll find the sergeant or whoever is in charge at the scene and ask what happened.
Eventually, the sergeant says, Errant, right?
Yes. What happened here?
Oh, some members of a local street gang actually apparently knocked this place over. Although they seem to be more aggressive and dangerous than usual. Sounded like there was a group of about 5 of them came in, broke the window, stole a bunch of stuff, beat up the clerks pretty badly. By the way, there's actually reports about this on the news at this point for the people watching.
Okay.
As you watching the news, although sort of, the reporters are talking about this. You actually see the news truck out there also, Nick.
Okay.
So you guys actually,
No.
yeah, actually, you guys do see Errant on TV talking to sort of off in the background talking to a cop.
Hold on a minute. Do we know that guy?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell all my friends about this.
Actually, you guys do hear saying apparently there's a hero on the scene. It looks like local hero Errant seems to be. Actually, no, that's not. There seems to be a hero on the scene. It looks like I think that's Squire there. We'll see if
Lucky I can't hear him.
we'll see if we can get a word with him in a minute or 2. But he seems to be busy with the police right now, so we'll leave him be.
Right.
So yes, the cops are talking to you for a little. He basically says, "Yeah, they knocked the place over." God, hold on a second. I need to look one thing up quickly. Yeah, they are apparently a member of a local gang that started up not too long ago, a couple months ago. We've been hearing them referred to as the Darksiders.
The Darksiders. That's a weird name for a street gang, actually.
I don't know.
All right. Did any of them say anything in particular? You mentioned that they were acting oddly aggressive.
Mostly just they were, sort of. Well, I mean, oddly aggressive, and you can tell by the damage done to the building. I mean,
They weren't trying to just rob the place.
Yeah, they were knocking the place over pretty hard.
They were enraged. They were out of popcorn.
We've actually been seeing increased activity from them recently, and they actually did a real number on one of the other local gangs.
Really?
Yeah, bit of a big gang fight about a week ago.
Have I heard about this other gang?
Yeah, you actually heard of them. They're not like a major. They're sort of the Darksiders. From talking to the cop, you're hearing basically they came out of nowhere about a couple months ago. And
Okay.
have been rapidly sort of becoming the dominant gang in town.
Right. Okay.
You hadn't heard much about them. They've been sort of only the cops, like the guys who were basically on the covering the gang scene really know more about it than you would basically.
Right.
But you had been noticing that some of the other gangs were out in smaller numbers recently.
Do I know of any street gangs that would normally occupy this area?
Probably. Let me take a look at this for a second. Let me take a look at skills here. I assume you don't have this would ideally be like an expertise skill, like expertise under like gang knowledge or something like that. But make
Okay.
an investigation roll for it.
Yeah. Okay. 21.
Yeah. This from your investigations, this should have been the sort of gang name here. I don't remember the.
Okay. So this
The Hellions, the Skulls.
the impression I'm trying to get here is
Yeah, this is actually someone
this
else's
is
someone else's territory normally.
this was more a statement than a robbery.
Probably.
Okay. All right then. Well, let's see. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm
actually,
gonna-
Streetwise would have been the right skill for that, but
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
but we'll go with the investigation roll for that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that does make sense though.
yeah, it's just like Streetwise.
All right. Well, let me see here. Okay. So.
Actually, I just thought of a name for the gang. It's a Hispanic gang, Loco Lobos.
Nice. Lobos Loco. Okay.
Lobos Loco, actually, you're right. That would be the way it'd be said. Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. I think that I actually want to try and find somebody from the Lobos then.
All right. If you want to do that, that is definitively an investigation roll to actually try. Actually, Streetwise or investigation. Actually, give me one of both.
Okay, I think that I don't even know if I have any points in Streetwise. I'll double check though.
If you don't, you can make an untrained roll for it.
An untrained would be just knowledge then.
Yeah. Sure.
Well,
go.
that's I only got 12 for my investigation, so I think I'm screwed on this. But let me see. Streetwise. Oh, that's not a skill.
Oh, it's not actually. Yeah. I'll just.
Oh, let's see. There's acrobatics, deception, expertise, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, persuasion, ranged combat, sleight of hand, stealth, technology, treatment, and vehicles.
It's a suggested expertise, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you could. Something you might want to consider picking up at some point, but.
All right. So, I guess untrained would just be an intellect roll.
Yeah, sure.
All right, that's only. I better roll better on this one.
Better than 3.
Okay, 17.
17,
For this.
okay. Well, between the investigation roll, the 12 is not a complete disaster. It's the bad roll. Your bonus is good.
Okay.
And the 17 on your untrained streetwise, you are able to track down a couple of the Lobos hanging around at a street corner. But this is before you leave. As you sort of are getting ready to leave, you actually hear someone say, "Squire, Squire, do you have anything you want to say about the robbery? Anything you found out? Are you looking into this robbery?" You see a woman you see a female reporter running up to you with a cameraman trailing behind her.
I'm sorry, Miss.
Amy Jones, Channel 4 News.
Well, you can rest assured that I'm on the job, but I really do not have any time to spare for an interview of any sort.
Okay. That's all we need to know. Thank you, sir. Have a good luck, Squire. Have a good evening.
I'm already on my motorcycle.
Yes.
Amazon Squire. Grr.
And you guys all saw that on the news and said, well, unfortunately, we couldn't get an interview with Squire, but he's apparently on the case.
So I say we start calling him Squire for at least the next day.
Oh God. You're gonna have some frickin'.
Well, to be fair, Doc Arcane probably wouldn't have heard this, so
That's true.
he's off doing research. So you're gonna go drive off to you can find one of the Lobos easily, as I said, with that roll. You see a couple of guys sort of standing on a corner talking. You're pretty, but you can tell by their colors and such that they're part of the Lobos.
All right.
They see you riding up. They look at you and they go, "Nice ride, essay."
I didn't do anything. You do anything? I didn't do anything.
All right. I'm going to dismount and I'm going to approach them. I'm going to say, I've heard that a new gang's been encroaching on your territory.
The two looks at you. Territory? Don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's a 7-Eleven the guy robbed?
Yep.
Well, once you see the 7-Eleven on such and such street, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about.
No, someone robbed the 7-Eleven down there. That sucks, dude.
Let me see here. That's such a weird, he says that in such a weird way, actually. That sucks, dude. So I'm assuming that he's trying to come across as if, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's basically sort of give me an insight roll.
Yeah, I was going to basically ask about that next. +9, okay. I should freaking macro these out. Okay, I think I got that one.
Okay, two things. One, he's definitely a bit nervous because it's clear he knows he's talking to an established superhero. He's
And
definitely
even if he doesn't know that, I've got a sword on my back.
Well, yeah. You're dressed like a superhero also. So it's first off, you're probably certain that he's very studious. They're both very seriously pulling the whole, no, we're totally not part of a gang.
Hey man, you a cop?
Okay.
You gotta tell me if you're a cop.
Yeah. Two, you're pretty sure they don't. You're pretty sure they don't know much about anything. At least they're trying to say that beyond that, they're trying to say, yeah, we don't know anything. Trying to sort of play, yeah, we don't know anything. Although it is important to note that you did not mention robbery and they did.
Right. I'm going to kind of roll my eyes and say, all right. God, what was the first gang member's name? The guys that actually...
Darksiders.
The Dark Side. Okay, I got to remember that one. Because I imagine that'll actually come up again.
Yes, it will.
All right, let me put it to you this way. If you happen to have heard of any people who are doing things which I'm sure some upstanding citizens such as yourselves would never do, who call themselves the Darksiders, and might do some things that might inconvenience you to people who I'm sure have never done anything wrong in their lives, then I could do something in order to make sure that they stay off the streets.
Two of them look at each other and say, one of them sighs.
Stop snitching.
All right, look, I say, we're not saying anything, that it's not like we're actually, part of any sort of, we don't know
We've
anything about these dark
I've,
side guys.
I've established this. Yes.
Yeah, we're just we're just hanging out here in the corner,
Yes.
But yeah, we've been hearing things about these Darksider fellows moving into this part of town. I've heard that some people might be, who normally sort of, live in this part of town are not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, as much as they're not happy about it. These Darksider boys, from what I've been hearing, of course, they got some of an edge over most of the normal guys who work this part of town.
What kind of edge?
I genuinely don't know, but I've heard that some of the locals got into a scrap with them, and it didn't go well, and they were packing pretty serious. He started saying our boys, but he said, and the guys from around here were packing pretty serious heat.
Hmm. Well,
But all I know is a bunch of the locals ended up in the hospital.
well, from what I understand from that, then it sounds like the smart thing for the local boys to do, all the local boys, would be to stay out of that type of business so that they don't anger the wrong people.
I'm sure they'll find that advice very helpful.
If you do happen to learn anything else about the type of people that I'm sure that you aren't, then maybe you could let me know if you happen to run into me again.
The two of them sort of look at each other, look back at you. They sort of nod.
Stay out of trouble, boys. And I'm gonna head out. I was basically trying to figure out if they knew where I could actually find the Darksiders, but if they don't actually know all that much, then
Yeah.
no
Actually,
point.
before you ride off, one of them says, "SA, what's your name again?"
It's errant.
Errant. Right. Saw you on the news a couple of days ago. That whole thing at the park with those robot things.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't. I was serious, man. That is a sweet ride.
Thanks. But yeah. So I will ride off. I guess a little disappointed, but all right. So that was my one idea.
Well, I got you a little bit of info.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the most important bit of information is the edge. So.
Yep.
All right. What else can I do?
I actually did forget to say something.
Okay.
That was actually important to that. When he mentioned they were in the hospital, he mentioned they were actually in there for pretty nasty burns and stuff.
Oh, okay.
One of them there are a couple of guys who are in there because.
Well,
they
he
had
did. I think the way you put it was they got burned or something like that.
Well, a couple of them were badly burned. One of them had many badly broken bones and a lot of big bad bruises too.
Okay, so I suspect in character then that could very well mean supers on one side.
It's possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So at least have an idea of that. Let's see.
What's the name of the COH gang that were all supers of one sort or another?
The Outsiders.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is also an awesome book.
Actually, technically, virtually all the gangs have at least minor super.
Yeah. But the outsiders were
They're
like
all
more
mutants.
like
They're all
Yeah.
mutants.
The trolls are all
Hopped up on Super Dean.
yeah.
And
then there were the Clockworks.
they're robots, but they're the
They were not a gang.
Hellions were demon worshippers, and
Right.
the Skulls are big into death magic and stuff.
What were the Thorn guys?
The
Thorn-
Circle of Thorns.
That was it.
They're all actual mages. Well, they all have more complicated.
Ninjas.
There is a gang of Asian martial artist types, but they're not. They're the Sioux, but they're not. They're also pretty bad. They're a bunch of gangs in City of Heroes, all of whom have various powers of sorts.
And my favorite were the Freak Show.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Everyone's favorite was the Freak Show.
Cyborg guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there were also like there was like the group of guys that did medical experiments, and they had like surgeons on their team.
Yeah, the Vatsalok.
Oh, yeah, the Vasilok.
Those are freaking creepy guys.
Yes. I got to fight Dr. Vasilok once, a few times. He's kind of scary, actually.
I remember the first time when I encountered one of the big hulking genetic freaks that they've got.
The Abominations, yeah.
I was
I used to love my main in Heroes. It was awesome. It was an energy bubble defender. So basically,
really
she could shield the
wish there
shit
was
out of everyone, and then like just blow things away with energy.
I really wanted to make a villain that was a former Vasilok, and I wanted to make him a big fat guy with a butcher's apron. But
Nice.
you cannot make anyone fat, so.
At any rate, okay, so that's what you've picked up so far. That's basically what you pick up when you're on patrol.
yeah. I think that's about as I'm gonna get.
Yep. Yeah, that's basically the bit I want to drop for you on patrol.
Yeah, cool.
And for the guys watching the news, they sort of talk about that.
They repeat the name Squire about 500 times.
Only a few times. They mentioned Squire was on the scene and was investigating, and that he's been recently associating with a few other heroes. We don't know whether they're calling themselves anything or anything like that right now, but they've been seen together multiple times. So they might actually be forming a team of some sort. That is also mentioned on the news. Let's see. So there's that. I'm just looking over my notes here. What else you guys would find out at this point? Yeah, the news isn't talking a lot about that right now. So Nick, you get back pretty late.
Okay, yeah.
Nothing else really happens during the night. Eric, you make some progress on the thing. Give me a thaumatology roll.
Thaumatology, woo!
It's going to take you some time and a few rolls to get much of anything to start with, but I just want to get a couple of rolls out of the way. Okay, you make progress. You make good progress.
I'm good at my job.
Yes. All right. The next morning, so it's after you guys have gotten a night's rest or what have you, there is actually a phone call. Who is going to answer?
If nobody else
Oh, jeez, you got it. I'm tired.
does. Aaron,
I thought Andrew bought was the
Probably
answer
passed
machine.
out in the lab.
Andrew bought the answer machine. Hello, we are not available at this time. Please call back. No.
I hate that guy answer. You can't tell if it's a machine or not.
I will warn you
am a
guys.
machine. Of course, it is.
I will warn you guys. If none of you answer,
I am going to answer the phone if nobody else.
None of you answer. All fine.
no, if none of you answer, Berkelak will.
Oh God.
Oh, that's the phone.
Okay, so Eric, as you're answering, you notice that Berkelak is sort of staring at the phone, sort of like he's like. He goes, "Oh, good." Still haven't really gotten the hang of those things.
It's supposed to be a song? What? I don't know.
So you answer the phone.
Yes.
Errant?
Yes.
Detective Strange here.
Detective. What is it?
Well, we got some information on those safety deposit boxes. An interesting thing came up on that. Two things. There's that bit of information, and one of the guys down in the gang squad wanted me to pass some information on to you. He'd heard that I'd been talking to you guys recently, so he wanted me to pass it on to you. Since he said one of the sergeants talked to you last night on the street. But yeah, first about the safety deposit boxes. The 4 boxes on the list Actually, are all owned by the same person.
Really?
Yeah. And you guys, it's got me a little concerned actually. Which also got us looking into some of the earlier robberies, and at least on one of them we were able to get some information about it. It looks like all the boxes that had stuff taken from them were all owned by another person.
So these aren't robberies for the sake of getting everything that within the banks.
No, they seem to be. It looks basically the first one, the one that we actually got the information on. Several boxes are open and stuff taken out of them, but a significant chunk of them were, significant number of them were all owned by the same person. So it looked like they basically they robbed the place and stole stuff from a bunch of boxes to sort of hide the fact that there was only that
I see.
that they were after one thing. And we probably wouldn't have picked up on that if we hadn't known that they hadn't have the list of numbers on that one map. They were all on that one for that one person. So the fact you got that map is definitely helpful. But the boxes that were all owned by from the Second National were all owned by Dr. Wayne Knight.
Really?
Yeah, the ones from the Federal Bank, the First Federal, which was one of the other ones that was robbed. They're all owned by Mr. Anders of Anders Conglomerated.
I see.
So yeah, we don't know what's contained in the boxes. Obviously, we haven't talked to Dr. Knight and or anybody, but and the bank can't tell us
Right.
without permission. But I thought you guys might find that might be able to make some use of that.
I'm sure we will.
We probably we'll be going through our normal channels, but I figured you'd give guys a heads up on it.
Thank you.
My partner's not exactly ecstatic that I'm telling you guys this without official permission from the captain, but he agrees with me that you guys might be able to make headway with it faster than we can.
Well, we'll certainly get right on that. I'll wake everyone up.
All right. Yeah. And the message from Johnson from the gang task force. He said he mentioned he basically told me that the gang that robbed that place you drove by the other day. That you
Yes.
were talking to him. The Darksiders. Apparently, as the sergeant mentioned, they're new in town. There's scuttlebutt that they're tied into something weird. Some of the people in the gang task force have seen some strange folk going in and out of areas where the Darksiders are known to frequent. Like people who don't normally frequent, people who sort of aren't dressed like people who normally frequent gang territory. Very very sort of much better dressed. Some of them like wearing very nice suits and such. And some of them wearing some very strange garb. Didn't get much detail. Although someone said something about like someone wearing weird robes or something like that. I don't know. It seems a bit odd. It definitely seems like that sort of made both of us think, both him, Johnson, and me think that there might be something a bit weird going on that you guys might want to look into.
I agree. All right. Well, thank you, Detective. This is all very interesting information.
Yep. So yeah, we'll be looking into stuff from our end, but if we hear anything, we'll let you know, and if you hear anything, appreciate if you guys give it a heads up.
Very well.
All right.
We'll be in touch.
Yep. Thanks. Talk to you later.
Well, I think that we're going to have to pay Dr. Knight a visit, or at least call him. I'm going to start waking people up. What does Androbot do at night, by the way, Arclight?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
He tries to plug himself into the wall, falls asleep, and falls over.
It is called powering down. I have to recharge.
He's got like some sort of fucking recharging harness, which is basically just a series of belts to stop him from falling over.
Okay, yeah. So the first thing I'm going to propose is that we visit or at least call up Dr. Knight to report the information on the his safety deposit boxes that were apparently being planned to be stolen.
So, okay. Yes.
Everyone's good with that plan?
Yeah.
Actually,
John?
no.
No?
Are you gonna go and try to rob the safety deposit boxes so that we know?
Oh,
I
God.
want no. I want to run something past you guys first,
All right.
but I don't want to do it here.
What, in the warehouse?
And no, we need to go for a walk or something.
Jaunt.
Yes,
We can go get breakfast.
deal.
We got shawarmas.
We walk over to IHOP in our costumes.
I'm not sure what it is, but I really want to try shawarma.
Okay, you guys can go get
Yep.
breakfast somewhere, like, where you can sit down and talk quietly. Or without being easily overheard.
So
We have
the IHOP. where
Bergalac at a separate
berry
table.
boysenberry pancakes.
Berkelak is
Just
currently
keep-
demolishing a gigantic bowl of cereal.
Right.
They bring
Call
out
me
the
Par-
tiger in you!
These Lucky Charms are great.
Call me overly paranoid, and trust me, in my career, plenty have. But when I see connections start to connect, I can't help but see everything as a potential.
So,
Okay.
what are you talking about?
Right. Look at it this way. I will say, well, no, I'll get to why I didn't want to do it in the warehouse in a moment, but put it this way. Knight puts together a super team for the purpose of cleaning up the city.
Mm-hmm.
At about the same time that lockboxes of him and his leading competitor are specifically targeted and picked out.
You're suggesting that he knows
These,
more than he's saying. He knows who's trying to
yes.
steal this stuff.
I think he does. I think we were set up for a purpose, not just for a for the good of the city sort of thing. And I didn't want to do it in the warehouse because of where we found Mercedes yesterday. They have access to all our stuff. They provide all our stuff. I didn't want any chance of any sort of monitoring.
You think that they've bugged things?
I wouldn't be surprised. Do you honestly think? I mean, maybe you might not be as paranoid as I am, but does Knight come across as the kind of guy that doesn't know everything that he thinks he needs to know?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to go out of character right now and say you're totally taking my part, but I'm way too nice a guy to actually think that way. or Dr. Arcane is way too naive to think that way. But yeah,
Well,
personally,
yeah.
yeah, I've been thinking that.
All right. First of all, I don't see things the same way that you do. However, I do understand the way you're thinking about this. We're a team, and unless we all agree to do this, then we won't tell him. How about this? Once we're done here, we can go back, do whatever we need to, sweep the place until we're all satisfied we're not being watched, at least to the best that we're able to tell. Even if we don't find anything, we won't make any assumptions. And that should that should be a good place to start.
Should still
fine by me.
contact Mr. Knight to see if he knows anything about the
Yeah,
lock
that-
boxes.
that's fair enough because that's a logical step to take. You'd expect us to do that, but all I'm saying is I don't want to be
Here's a
walking into
problem.
anything with a blindfold on.
Here's a bit of an issue. If the place is monitored in some way, presumably the first place that they would think to do that will be on the phone that the detective just called me on.
hmm Then
Now-
our logical step to avoid, I know where you're going with this, to avoid suspicion as to why we didn't initially call him, would probably be to go pay him a visit and blame our delay on your
Getting
old
breakfast.
master there.
I look over at Berkelak.
Berkelak stayed behind at the base.
Oh, well, you said that he was.
Oh, did it?
Oh yeah, back at base.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we went out for breakfast then.
Yes, you guys went out for breakfast. Berkelak was already eating cereal.
All right.
Okay.
He's devouring a bacon.
Okay, so we'll
bowl
just
of
ignore it.
cereal.
We'll ignore that last comment then.
But we can say we call for breakfast first anyway.
We will explain to him that we were planning what to do next, which we were.
Mhm.
All right. So then, we have the list with all of the safety deposit numbers, though, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Even if you didn't, Arcane did see the numbers, so he wouldn't. Both Dr.
You
Arcane
would-
both Dr. Kane and John both have eidetic memory. So,
Yeah.
All right.
So does Androt.
oh dear
What's
lord,
this?
really?
Yep.
Three
You guys are
people-
starting to make Aaron feel really stupid. I really
We
should
all have
take
articles.
street. I really should take street smart so I can have something that I'm able to do mentally that you guys aren't.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
can't see Dr. Arcane ever picking up Street Smart. It's just not in his domain.
All right, so we'll go see Dr. Knight. We will ask him if he is willing to tell us what sort of things are being kept inside the safety deposit boxes so that we can determine what the aim of Lodestone's group is. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Check, please.
All right, you got the check. And if you guys head off to wherever you want to head off to. You guys going back to base to look for bugs, or are you going to...
I'm so glad that it took us so little time in order to become suspicious of the person who is benefiting us.
Dude,
I knew
the
we were
whole
going to do it
background of my-
eventually. I knew we were going to have a reason for it eventually. I'm just...
Dude, my dude is he's like he's the Batman.
He's the question, I know, yeah. He's the question.
He will. He's the one that will have the way of taking each and every one of you down by the end of this campaign, just in case.
Turns out Androbot was just a walking bug.
All right. But yeah, so are you guys going to go to see Dr. Knight first, or are you going to do something else first?
To keep plausibility, probably best idea to go straight to him.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys arrive at Knight Industries. The secretary looks at him and says, gentlemen, how can I help you?
We would like to see Mr. Knight.
If you'll have a seat there, I'll see if he's available. She gestures back over to the sofas in the lobby area.
We go and sit down next to King Radical. Somebody got that, yes! This is boring! So happy.
All right. She basically gets on the phone, talks a bit, and sort of said, "You see," she nods. Okay. Dr. Knight has a meeting for another 10-15 minutes. If you guys are willing to wait, he can see you in 15 minutes.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. So a little while passes, and eventually, 15 minutes later, the elevator doors open.
We get out the highlights for kids magazines.
Not really what's in the lobby of Knight Industries, but
It's not a child-friendly zone. What?
not exactly. No.
They should have a crash at the very least.
There are more stuff like Popular Mechanics and stuff like that, but and Popular Mechanics, Fortune magazine, stuff like that.
Oh, great. So Androbot's reading the tech journal, trying desperate to get a boner so he can keep convincing.
But as I said, 15 minutes later, the doors open and you see Mercedes step out of the elevator. She says, if you all would like to come, she basically, actually, she just sort of looks at you guys and sort of gestures towards the elevator.
To the elevator.
All right, the elevator goes up. You guys walk into the Dr. Knight's office. He says, how y'all doing?
Doing well, I
Have,
suppose.
have seats, gentlemen. Have seats.
I sit.
So, what you all want to see me about?
We recently came across some information that we believe should be brought to your attention. It has to do with the robbery, which, according to Mercedes, has already been apparently brought to your attention.
Yeah. I'm sort of interested about that because I do have some stuff at the Second National.
Well, that is actually exactly what we wanted to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
We more recently came across new information regarding what appeared to be plans having to do with the robbery, or perhaps another future attempt. And
I see.
I basically leave the floor to Dr. Arcane, or actually any of you three guys, so you can rattle off the numbers. It doesn't matter to me. All three of you guys can do it.
We should do it in a chorus, in 3-part harmony.
First number 367192.
It's a real shame that Aaron doesn't have it, so you could do the whole barbershop quartet bit. But yeah, so so you mentioned so I assume one of you mentions the box numbers and such, and he sort of raises an eyebrow and says, "So what you're saying is, I think those are all my boxes. So what you're
Yes.
saying is that my stuff was the target."
Yes. What's in those boxes?
Hang on a second. He turns to the computer screen. You hear him sort of type at the keyboard and sort of looks at it and sort of scrolls a little bit.
This is where John is literally watching him like a hawk.
He nods a bit. All right. Okay, that's what. Okay, I just want to confirm that what I thought was in that bank is in there. He sort of leans back in his chair, sort of sort of strokes his chin a little bit, grimaces a little bit, and says, "Well, well, a couple of boxes just have personal effects. One of them does have the larger two of the boxes actually do have a few items that are a combination of blueprints and sort of prototype samples of some stuff I've been working on that are not ready for marketing or full testing yet. That I've been storing there for a little while, just so keeping them locked up in a bank like that is generally somewhat more secure than keeping them on site in the lab. Also, most people wouldn't think to look if they were looking for something like that. They wouldn't think to look in a bank. I don't really want to go into details of what they are exactly because they're one of the things I'm working on right now, and it's proprietary research stuff.
So then, are these all of the safety deposit boxes under your name in this bank?
In that bank, yes. As I said, two of them contain personal effects. Some jewelry and stuff handed down from my mother, things like that.
So that would then indicate that probably, as far as the person who supplied this information, this was the only information available regarding what you had deposited. It seems that they were looking for something of yours, but they didn't know exactly where it was. They could only narrow it down as far as everything that's under your name in the bank, which makes sense because of how safety deposit boxes work. So
Indeed. That is concerning. Everyone should give me an insight check.
Right.
Insight. Where is it? Where are you? There it is. Ooh.
Yeah.
24 for Gav.
Eric and Gav
Yes.
do get something. Eric, you do get the impression that Dr. Knight is conflicted about something. Gav, you get the impression that he thinks he's debating about whether there's something whether he's basically telling you something that he thinks he probably would want you to know, but he's not sure he should let you know. That's the impression you get. Sort of, he's like, you get the impression it's like he's not telling you something he thinks he might want to tell you, but he's not sure he should. Or actually, correction, he's debating sort of telling you something he thinks you should know, but doesn't want to.
Yeah, so it's something we would probably need to know, but he doesn't want us to know it, sort of thing.
Well, no, it's not that he doesn't want. You get the impression it's not that he doesn't want you to know it; it's that he doesn't want to tell anyone.
Right.
Is
Well,
there
in that case, I'm-
something else?
Yeah. Simplest question.
He strokes his chin again. Well, again, it has to do with the nature of the things I've gotten the safety in the things I'm working on. That I don't. Again, I don't want to talk about it because, as I said, it's stuff I'm working on right now and is not even really in a prototype stage.
You put us together, Mr. Knight.
I know that's
If you're going to hinder us on our first investigation, that's not going to really help.
part of the reason he sort of cradles his head in his hand, one of his hands for a moment, pinches the bridge of his nose. All right. I'll tell you what it is. I won't go into the technical details because that's not strictly. I don't think you really need to know that per se. But what it is, what I'm working on, and I think the most interesting thing there are a couple things in there. Some of which is just not particularly. It's just stuff I'm working on, which isn't particularly interesting. You know, it's some stuff on sort of minor tweaks on improving circuit boards and such. Nothing particularly interesting. The one that is of note is I'm working on a miniature power supply. He says I'm working on trying to build something about. He basically he holds his hands up. His gestures roughly the size of
An arc reactor.
It's like a cassette, basically, like an audio tape, basically. It's like
Yeah.
about this big, sort of a few inches by few inches, fairly thin. That's it's about the size of a very large lithium-ion battery, but not a very large, but a large, roughly the same sort of size as the type of the lithium-ion battery you'd have in your cell phone, but bigger. So maybe the size of say an index card, but maybe a half an inch thick or so. But is a full-fledged generator. It's for a government project. That's all I can really say about it. I'd tell you more, but I really.
But you'd have to kill us.
Interesting.
I would have to kill you, but I
that-
would just say that the DoD would not be happy with me.
Well, that is the sort of tech that your average supervillain would be interested in.
I wouldn't say your average supervillain, but there are definitely there are definitely villains who would be interested in them, and there are definitely people who would be interested in hiring villains to acquire them.
Could what was the other guy's name? Alan?
Yeah, Enders. I mean,
Could Enders be working on similar technologies?
possibly. He might have people who are working on it. He himself isn't much of a scientist. He's a businessman, but why do you ask? He's not someone to be behind this sort of thing.
Well, the police also mentioned that some of the security boxes at other banks that have been hit belonged to him.
Dr. Knight sort of leans back in his chair. Really?
Hmm.
Basically, everything we've told you about the second National Bank and your boxes, replace the second with the first National Bank and your name with his name.
Huh.
They're obviously building some sort of super weapon. I mean, that's
Not-
what I'd do
not-
if I were evil, which I'm not.
Aaron gives a look to Dr. Arcane before returning to the subject at hand.
Huh.
I can only imagine. You know that look in Batman Begins when Bruce is trapped under the flaming log and Alfred chastises him for not, for all those push-ups being a waste if he can't lift the log, and he just stops, even though the log's on fire, and he just looks at him with like, what? That's the look. Just pictured.
So yeah, Dr. Ice says, give me just a minute here. He picks up the phone, dials a few numbers, holds the phone up to his ear. Yeah, yeah, Mike, yeah, it's Dr. Knight. Can I talk to Mr. Anders? Yeah, thanks. Michael, yeah, it's Wayne. Yeah, yeah, no, uh, something's come up that you might be interested in. Can I send some people over to talk to you? Yeah, I don't think we want to talk about it on the phone. Yeah, yeah, it has to do with the bank robberies recently. Uh-huh, yep. Um, uh, yeah, I'll send them over. It's a few of the local heroes. Yeah, yeah, those guys. Yep. Yeah, yeah, all four of them. You got time to see them? Great. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna send them over a little note. Yeah, okay. Yeah, for me. Yep, yep. All right. Yeah, you definitely want to talk to them. It's definitely gonna be of interest to you. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. Yeah, it should be a good performance. Yeah. Give my love to Linda. Talk to you later. He hangs up.
You seem to have a very amicable relationship with your business rival.
He's a business rival. He's not. It's not like we,
It's nothing personal.
we're rivals, but I mean we both make money. We both contribute a lot to charity. I mean, nothing personal. It's just business.
Just an observation.
We work a bunch of the same charity. I mean, we're rivals definitely, but large chunk of it's fun. I mean,
We're both richer than God. I mean,
Doesn't matter.
that's actually the impression you get. It's sort of, yeah, we're both stinking rich. I mean, yeah.
One thing you said there. What performance?
No, there's an opera coming. There's an opera we're both going to. It's a charity event.
That's tomorrow night, yeah.
Yeah.
gears are turning in John Doe's head.
Yeah, someone. It's a performance of the Magic Flute. Apparently, this
At least
particular
it's not
opera.
the incredible Dr. Faustus.
Yes.
What?
At any rate, just one moment. He pulls the drawer open, pulls out a piece of paper, pulls out a pen, writes something on it, folds it up, takes out an envelope, puts it in there, licks the envelope, writes on the front of it. He says, "If you guys would give this to him, it's the details I want him to have on what was taken from my vault. I think it's just better if it's actually in my writing."
Fair enough.
See.
Also, it's sort of a measure of that he should be free to tell you guys what was stolen, what he lost, if it's something in the same sort of general vein.
No, I'm not gonna visit. Okay. All right.
So yeah,
That covers it.
he's actually said he'd be free for the next hour or so. If you guys just head over to his office building, which is down the street, down the street that way, about 2.5 blocks. You can't miss the building.
I imagine. All right. Oh, unless anyone else wants to do something while we're here, I guess we can just head out then.
If there's anything else I can help you with, I'd be happy to help. Is within what I can. As I said, I'd like to tell you. I would consider I would like to actually tell you more about this, but about what was stolen. But as I said, I can't. Technically, I probably shouldn't have told you as much as I have, but I think the DoD will forgive me if it stops it from being stolen.
Well, we'll try to make sure that no one outside this room finds out.
That'll be good.
You can count on our discretion.
Good. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, so yeah, I guess we'll head over to Mr. Anders.
All right. Okay, you guys head over there. The building in question when you get there, it's another large, very large, tall office building. It is. There is definitive sort of stylistic contrast from Night Industries. Night Industries is very, very clean, very modern. There's more of a sort of Art Deco feel about a lot of the decoration and such inside Anders Conglomerated. But they also have a bunch of stuff of they're also a more diverse company in terms of the stuff they make. They aren't just a technology company. So they've got more different examples and such. You guys walk in. The security guard sort of notes you. The receptionist at the desk sort of looks at, you guys are the people. You are the ones that Mr. Knight sent over to talk to Dr. Knight sent over to talk to Mr. Anders.
We are.
Yes.
In one moment, I'll let him know. Mr. Anders, the gentleman here to see that Dr. Knight sent over here to see you. Oh dear.
Oh, what do we got here?
Oh, Raxus, that's awesome.
Awesome.
He's got the frickin' medic pigeons. Okay, yeah.
All right, so you guys, basically says, just take the elevator up to the top floor.
All right, top floor it is then.
All right, you head up the elevator. The security guard enters the elevator with you. Sort of,
I don't say anything about this, but
as the elevator goes up, they're playing very, very pleasant classical music. It's not the girl from Ipanema.
Heard a classical presentation of the girl from Ipanema.
It's definitively not.
But
No, it's not that either.
Oh,
It's something far more sort of laid back and.
what are you talking about? I fall asleep to that song.
Fine, it's more laid back for someone who did not grow up working with the Green Knight.
It's actually Kenny G.
That's not classical at all.
Hey man, it's classical in the sense that it's bad.
At any rate, you get to the top. The doors open into a huge office, and everything in here is it's sort of that subtle opulence. It's the desk is a huge wooden desk that's very perfectly maintained. And it's beautiful, absolutely stunningly beautiful wooden desk. And it's just a gorgeous office and very large. Greeting you as you walk in is a tall man, fairly tall guy wearing a impeccably tailored suit. He's got sort of He's got sort of graying black hair, sort of slicked back. You all recognize him actually as Michael Anders. He says, welcome to Anders Conglomerated. Dr. Knight said you guys had some things you want to talk to me about. Please sit down." And he sort of looks at Dr. Arcane and says,
I can stand.
"Thanks. I'm not sure these chairs are suited for your suit."
No problem. Actually, you know what? I'll sit down but be floating.
He sort of looks at it and says, and then shrugs, and he sits back down beside his desk in his very, very...
And this chair floats. No.
It sits back in a very, it is very, very, very comfortable looking leather chair. Dr. Ender said that the Robert First... I mean, I know that some of my stuff was stolen from the First National, and I've been very concerned about some of the stuff that was taken. But he seems to say there's some sort of connection.
Well, I guess we'll hand him the note, yes.
All right. He takes that up. He picks up a letter opener, opens it, rips it out, and says, "Oh. Yeah, I see what he means. Yeah. Right. All right. Apparently, Wayne and Dr. Knight and I had sort of similar ideas about storing stuff off-site that would be as a way to keep things, be less likely to attract unwanted attention to them. Damn, that's not good. I have to check something here. Hang on a second. Picks up the phone, pushes a couple buttons. Maureen? Yeah, it's Michael. Got a bit of a situation here. We lost some stuff from the First National. Yeah, apparently there's a connection to some stuff that Dr. Knight's working on for the DoD. Yeah, it has to do with that. There's some local heroes who are investigating it. Legally, if I tell them what it is that was stolen, what kind of trouble can I get into? Uh-huh. Really? Hang on a second. Are any of you guys registered?
Yes.
All four of us.
Really? Oh. They're all registered. So I just need to have them sign an NDA? All right. Yeah, great. Yeah, no, I got the one. Yeah, I know it'll take some time, but yeah, and that's so. Other than that, as long as the yep, okay, yeah, great. Oh, it's easier than I thought. Yeah, since we already reported to the DoD. Yeah, yep, okay, great, thanks. Yeah, once they had signed it and I filled them in, I'll after we finish the meeting, I'll tell you, give you more details, and then you can call the DoD. Yeah, okay, great, thanks. Bye. All right. So yeah, I can actually tell you guys what was stolen, but I do need you to fill out some paperwork. He opens the drawer, pulls out.
Aaron kind of raises an eyebrow, wondering why Dr. Knight didn't have us do this.
It's a good question. And he hands you, basically pulls out a bunch of paper and then looks down and says, and opens up the drawer, pulls out a few clipboards, taps the paper on it, hands you each one of you. He gets up, hands each of you a clipboard with a pen. Just to the NDA, just so you fill it out so that my backside's covered. As long as you guys don't, if you guys divulge information, you guys get into trouble. Classic stuff. This is specifically confidentiality agreement with both me and the Department of Defense. So you'll need to fill out your registration information at the bottom. If you're not registered, let me know now. So you'll have to step out of the room until. You know what? If you don't have it, just don't fill it out, and we'll just as long as most of you are registered, it's not a problem.
Peter,
Yeah.
Have I had to fill out this type of form before in my superhero experience?
You've heard of it. You haven't actually filled it out yourself.
Okay.
But you've heard of this would fit in with
I was assuming, yeah. I mean, yeah. It doesn't seem too out of the ordinary.
No, this would make sense. If it's it's a DoD contract.
Right.
It's clear it's working for the Department of Defense.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll go over it.
I'll just make sure there's no clause in there about them being allowed to kidnap me in the middle of the night and like perform horrible experiments on me.
There's not seem to be anything about that in there.
Okay.
There is one about kidnapping you in the middle of the night and torturing you, but not for the purpose of experimentation. So
Oh, well, that's just fine then.
that's fine.
So you guys can fill it out. Gav, I forget, were you registered or not?
Yes.
Yeah, he registered in the first session along with Dr. Arcane.
No, that was Enderbot.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I did in my first session because I wasn't here the first session.
Right. Okay. Fine. So yeah, you guys are all registered. Okay. You guys fill it out. Fill out the paperwork then. He takes it back, looks at it, and says, "Okay, I'll take that down to legal after we're done." So yeah. So here's the thing. What I've been working on was a man-portable version, actually a somewhat miniature. It's not what I've been working on myself, but it's what some of my designers have been working on. It's an early prototype of a man-portable energy projection weapon.
They are building a super weapon. I told you. I look at Aaron.
That wasn't what I was looking at you for.
But honestly, I mean, the DoD is concerned, but I mean, you need the problem that we were having with the thing is building an appropriate power supply for it, which is why we haven't, it hasn't gone to testing or anything like that. But Dr. Knight's been working on a small power generator, and I assume someone else is probably working on a miniaturized capacitor system to, store the energy built up from the generator. I mean, I don't know that, but if the DoD is having him working on a small power generator, and I've been working on a man-portable energy weapon of sorts.
So the Department of Defense has commissioned several different independent companies in order to produce the parts so that they can assemble it themselves, and whatever organization is stealing it is probably going to do that themselves.
Yeah. My gut feeling is, I mean, my assumption was they were building it for sort of a man-portable sort of energy weapon, just for basic soldiers. But given that they're working on the size of the generator they're working on, my guess now, and I'm assuming that Wayne sort of came to the same conclusion, is that they're probably working on a prototype battlesuit of sorts.
Sidelong glance at Dr. Arcane.
Mine's powered by magic.
Just out of character for a sec, would it be common knowledge that he'd know what Wayne's company was working on?
No, but he knows about it now.
Yeah, Wayne told him. Yeah.
That was the whole point of the letter.
Oh, Wayne actually... Oh, okay, that was in the note, sorry.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Okay, so... The obvious question is then, who's capable of building a capacitor?
Well, there are a couple of different companies. The company that if I was really hiring out to would be Helix. I forgot the name of the company, but it's would be
Tesla Incorporated. Their CEO is the super scientist Atomic Robo.
Just don't say Cyberdyne.
It's not Cyberdyne, but I'll think of the name later. I forgot. I didn't come up with a name for it off the top of my head before. I forgot to do that. I'll come up with one later for it. But so yeah, he mentioned the name of the company, but they're based. I mean, they're based out on the West Coast. So.
Well, I would suggest getting in contact with the department and letting the third commission company it is know that they could very well be in danger.
Yeah.
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 The other thing I'd suggest is let the MOD guys know that they might have a leak if people know where these things are coming from.
Yeah, that's given
is
that,
in fact
given
my
that,
boy.
there's definitely a leak somewhere. There's almost certainly a leak somewhere. At least I'm guessing from what it sounds like from Dr. Knight's company, and there's a leak in there. But somehow they found out where he was keeping the stuff, and they found out where I'm keeping my stuff. So I'm gonna have to
The
look
point
into
I'm
that.
saying is until you received that letter, you didn't know what he was working on, and he, as far as we know, didn't know what you were working on either.
Nope. Yeah, I'd assume not. No.
So the common link is the MOD themselves.
The DoD would definitely. There's definitely a
DoD, sorry.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, the system in question, he sort of describes it. It's effectively, from what the lab boys are telling me, is a particle cannon of sorts, but it's seriously miniaturized. It's actually usable by a person.
And portable PPC.
I mean, there have been several costumed. There have been several power suits used by both villains and heroes that have similar systems, but they never really seem to be practically
Mass producible.
mass producible. So, and that's one of the goals we were going for, is making something that could be mass produced.
Oh, you mean the goal of pretty much every hero and villain that actually does manage to produce a suit of, battle suit.
What if Tony Stark sold out?
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much what everyone who does come up with a super suit doesn't want to happen.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So, so as far as we know, the West Coast company that would probably be the top choice for this does not have any outliers over here.
Ooh, I've come up with a name for it.
Okay.
It's Daedalus Incorporated.
Okay, so Daedalus, they don't have anybody over here. They don't have.
No, they don't have any interest on the East Coast.
Okay.
They're based out out near Silicon Valley.
Okay, well, as far as we know, the group here is probably the villainous group is probably based over here. So we'll, I guess, look into some other potential places. But I mean, the best bet for now, I guess, would be to let the Department of Defense know about that, because they know more about this and would be able to prepare for the next robbery better than we could, not knowing who they're going to target. So
Unless it's already happened and then they came here.
it's possible, yeah. Yeah. So but yeah, like I said, they'll know more about that than we do.
Yeah. Mr. Anders sort of rubs an eyebrow and sort of says, "Well, the one concern I have is that from a purely logistic, from a pure design standpoint, again, this is sort of listening to some of the lab boys talking about stuff, various things. The easiest part would be the capacitor system. To build.
Oh, so they might not even necessarily need to steal the last bit.
If there's one that's already made, that'd be easier. But someone who knows their stuff with capacitors would probably able to do something that'd be usable.
I see. All right then. So okay. Crud. All right. Looks like
Mind
we
you,
got
they apparently didn't get the generators, the plans for the generators. So
right.
but
So yeah, we need to keep that safe. All right. Well, I'm out of ideas. So anybody else?
We've got everything,
Yeah.
got
Anybody
everything
else
we
want to do?
need.
Anybody else want to do something while we're here? Guess.
I'm thinking
No, not while we're here, no.
Okay.
not while we're here.
In that case, I guess we'll thank Anders for his time, and I guess head out. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I wish you luck, and Since you guys registered, I'm expecting the DoD will probably contact the local NSCA to get in touch with you guys at some point.
Oh, that's all right. We've got a phone.
Yeah, but yeah, they'll probably go through the NSCA to get a hold of you.
Interdepartmental weirdness.
So is this just me, or does anybody else imagine that the phone we've got in the warehouse is like it's like a hotline, like bright red with a cord, and an
No,
old
I think
school
it's a
file?
it's a $2.99 from Home Depot. It's just nailed to the wall.
I was actually thinking it looked something like
You gotta crank it whenever you're speaking.
I was thinking it looked like one of those like big corded handsets from like the
Yeah, that's what I
60s
was.
and
That's,
70s.
yeah, that's what I was.
So you're thinking like the classic image of the red phone in the president's office in the movies.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Except ours is kind of a lime green.
Of course,
Faded,
now
of course.
that I said the words hotline, I'm just imagining the hotline with the face from the Powerpuff Girls cartoon.
Clown phone.
It does not look like that.
Okay, good.
I think I'm gonna make it though. Make it like that though.
Dr. King, what the hell are you doing? It needs to look happier.
It's always giving us bad news. It might as well cheer us up first.
All right. So
Yeah.
with that, you guys can leave.
Cool.
All right.
What's our next move now? Well, I guess we
Right.
could go ahead and head back to base, and if we still want to, sweep the place for bugs.
I'm going to. Whether you want to, I will be going to.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
right. One
I'm
thing
just
that
trying to-
strikes me-
I'm just trying to go through the stuff that we can do right now.
Yeah. So let me get this. Let me get this to the head. So they got the plans for the.
They got
the
Anders'
project-
plans. They did not get Knight's plans, right?
Right.
As far as you know, yep, Knight's plans has not been stolen.
Okay.
Okay. So
Someone's gonna hit them soon because they'll need them.
Hear-
They
hear
need
me out.
a power suit.
Okay. What is it?
From what I said this morning, this doesn't absolve Knight of my suspicion. Okay, because
Right.
think of it this way: everything got stolen except his shit. If he's
Well-
behind it, he now holds all the pieces. But that's something else. That's another line of thought. Another one is if we're going innocent until proven guilty, those two are going to be together in the same place tomorrow night. And
They might be in danger.
I think so. They could. These guys couldn't get the plans. Those plans are going to be under lock and key. What's the next best thing to the plans? The guy that invented it.
And Dr. Knight is the. I got the impression Dr. Knight was the chief scientist.
Yeah.
On that project, yes.
And Anders is plus. Not to mention, Anders is not much of a scientist, but he's the head of a very rich company. That's decent leverage.
Are you suggesting that he might have something to do with this as well?
No, I'm suggesting though that
You're
if anybody.
you're suggesting that he's a potential kidnap victim.
Yes, he's a kidnapped victim, and Knight is an enforced worker.
All right.
As leverage. So I would say somebody wants to be at that opera tomorrow night.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea.
I can probably get tickets. Actually,
Now-
when's my date with Eris?
Wacky!
Hey, about that whole research thing, yeah. Turns out that I kind of promised to go to this opera, but you're welcome to come. It's the Magic Flute.
It's magic, right?
Oh god, that's gonna be so weird. Doctor, why did you get all 5 tickets together?
Wait a minute. How did you guys get tickets?
I pretended to be the guy on the door. I just let him in.
That wouldn't get you seats.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
well, look, you guys deal with that. I will be doing one of two things.
One of two things.
Either I will be in that theatre tomorrow night.
Okay.
I don't need a seat. Don't worry about that. I'll just disguise myself